is Tracy with Inside Pool Magazine. They call me the Diva.
This is Nick DeLeon. They call me NikonKid.
And together we're Billiard Talk. It's been a while, Nick. How are you?
It has. It's great. It's been everybody. Both of us have been super busy. It's been crazy.
It's been one heck of a year, that's for sure. Right. How about we start off and let's talk Mosconi Cup before we get into the Nick DeLeon year. You were there, so could you give us a rundown on how that went?
It was a blast. It was my wife's, of course, and my first time even going to a Mosconi Cup, and it was absolutely insane. It was fantastic. The fans, the players on both sides. Anytime somebody missed, the hollering, the stomping on the benches or whatnot. It was absolutely insane.
So the big controversy was Earl Strickland been put on the team at the very last second. Do you how was it sitting in that arena when Earl walked out in the pit? What was that like?
It was great. Like the fan, every player. It was not just for Earl, but every player, every team, every matchup that happened, everybody was walking out. Of course, you got your boos and everything for Europe because you're in the United States. But
right.
The place just erupted every time. Like it was just something else. Like everything from the team event to singles to doubles. It was incredible to be there and witness. I mean, we lost our voice multiple times. It could have went later some days than others, but it was all around. It was really good. I mean, and it just, we put up a battle and just Europe just took over. So,
well, I mean, Clash of the Titans, really. I mean, between both teams, the United States put together a really strong team. There was a lot of controversy or a lot of chatter on Facebook. I literally had to turn my social media off due to the fact that every day there were hundreds of posts regarding the final pick for the Mosconi.
Yep.
Basically everyone was saying, well, what about Shane Wolford? There are other people. Unfortunately, coming from a fan myself, I feel like, you have to do what you have to do. And considering what happened last year with Earl and him not being able to play because of the COVID issue, this is kind of giving him a redemption. I understand how the fans feel. And, my heart goes out to you, Nick, because you fought a tough fight all year long, really. But I'm glad it worked out, and I'm glad Earl got his time to shine, so to speak. What did the teammates, how did they feel after it was all said and done?
I mean, I didn't get to really talk to a lot of them afterwards. It was normally during or after the break or whatever. Everybody go over there and chit chat with Shane and Sky and Oscar and Tyler and them while Earl was playing or whatnot. But I mean, they all showed support and everything for each player. They all came out. When like Tyler was a little struggling and whatnot, and then also, when Earl was struggling, both of them, all three of them came out, like, Sky, Shane, Double J, like it was really cool. But Earl came off to a strong start, and then he just kind of like fell apart. Things just didn't go his way. It is what it is. It happens in pool. Just like when Skylar and David were playing. Skylar had that really critical miss that he could have took a huge lead and had the momentum. But it's pool. Everybody misses. Everybody makes mistakes. Not perfect. So you just have to take advantage of the other guy's mistakes. So
absolutely. Well, I'm glad you got the opportunity to be in the presence of the great Mosconi Cup. So I'm glad you and Dory had a good time, especially this being her first real year participating in the billiards industry, getting a sponsor. Congratulations to your wife, Nick.
It was awesome.
Accomplishment.
Yeah, it was really great. And I had nothing to do with it at all. A lot of people probably think, especially here in Arizona, that I did.
She put in the work. I know you, and I know Dory, and she put in the work.
Yeah, she puts in the work every day. Like, I mean, there's sometimes, she jumps out of the shower, puts a robe on, and she's hitting balls, and whatnot. And I come out, I get out of the shower, I'm like, "Where's my wife?" And then like I hear pool balls hitting, and she's in her little like towel bun and like in her robe, and she's hitting balls. She's so dedicated. She loves the game. Um, she's really never been like a sports, like into sports or whatnot, and this kind of made it like once she fell like in love with the game and like wanted to learn, and she was like a sponge, so she took all of the stuff that I taught her, and she has probably the best mechanics here out in Arizona. It's crazy, like for her amateur players, like it's really great. But once she starts connecting the dots, everybody watch out, like it's gonna be deadly.
Another power couple, another pool power couple. It's going to be great watching you two play doubles against some fantastic teams. I'd like to see.
Whenever we get a chance, because out here in Arizona they limit everything for me. So they just don't really have opens, or they don't have doubles where I can play with my wife. Normally everybody's calling her and trying to play doubles with her, and I just pretty much am home practicing, or I'll go out and I'll support her when she's
I'll play really badly. I'll play with you, Nick.
Yeah. But she's just like, I think like for me to play in a Scotch doubles here, I have to play with like a 400 player or a 4 like or 399.
Right now,
she's right there. She's at like 393. So like there's a select few that we can play in, but it's just a little different, So it's like once in a while we get to play with each other, and normally I'm just kind of like her coach and husband at the same time, with trying to help her out and get her to the next level and everything. So
what's it like on the sidelines? You're used to being the player, now you have a wife that's out there. What's it?
It's great. It's great. Just as much as she supports me and everything that I do and I'm doing, I do the same for her. So there's nights that we'll go to a chip tournament. I literally hate chip tournaments, and I think they're the worst things that could possibly happen. Because whenever you go to BCA Nationals or anything like that, it's always a race, right? So, like you're used to playing all these chip tournaments, and you win one game at a time. Well, that doesn't do much for you because of the fact that when you go to BCA, for instance, in Vegas or APA or however it is, you have a race that you have to do. So you win one game, and your body and everything and your mind thinks you're done because you're used to just doing one game.
Right.
So I'm just like, you have to play races. So I tell her, I go, we put her in anything 55, 550 and under, 600 and under, whatever it is. I go, she jumps in it just so she can get used to the races and everything. And it's great. I'll sit there. Like I said, I'll sit there all day, all night, and I'll watch her play, There was a tournament that she played doubles with my really good friend, 9mm, Joey Barrera. And I sat there, and it was great to watch him play and to watch, people even talk on the sidelines, go, "Oh my God, like she made that." Like, it's true because like she's only been playing, like it'll be 2 years in February, and it'll be a year in February that she's actually competed, like to play in tournaments and everything. So really, like that first year was just basically getting her mechanics down, getting her like the rules of the game and all this other stuff, But it's just for her to, jump like 60, 70 points in a year. It's great. Like that's just what Fargo does, when you're playing well, So it's one of those things. But for me out here, there's really nothing for me to be out here like at all, like for a tournament. So I'm just glad and grateful that I'm sponsored by Rasson, that I have a Rasson 9-footer in our house, and I get to practice as much as I possibly can because there's no tournaments until like a matchroom event happens or whatnot, or the World 10 Ball or whatnot for Predator.
Okay, well, we're starting out the new year, so let's recap. Last year, ladies and gentlemen, Nick DeLeon came on my side of the country, and we hung out a little bit over at Derby City. Well, Nick took Indiana by storm. They did not know who Nick was when he got there, but boy, did they know who he was when he left.
I had no idea. I had no idea what to expect going in.
Nick,
I heard stories, but
what that last you played I can't. You were playing. Who was it you were playing while I was sitting there? It wasn't Jason Shaw. He was on the table next to you. Who were you playing at that moment at Derby City? It was before you were put out.
I was playing. Yeah, I was playing John Mora.
It was
so it was crazy. So throughout the tournament, I don't know what's going on, how they do it, because it's really different from any other tournament I played in. It's like if you lose, you have one rebuy. So it's almost like a double elimination, but it's like you just keep on going and going. You can use that rebuy at any time, I guess.
Right.
And I'm going through, like, I'm like first round, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round, sixth round, seventh round. I haven't lost. And I'm just like, okay, like, I don't know what is going on. I don't know if there's 32 rounds. I don't know if there's like, 15 rounds. I don't know how many rounds there are. So I'm just trying to figure all this out. And I'm like, I just lost my, I think it was 8th round I lost. And Shane just got done destroying, Shane Van Boening just got done destroying Dennis Gabe. I think that's it.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's coming over to the booth where I'm at to kind of report his match. And he's all, hey, did you know that you're the only undefeated U.S. player right now? I'm like, what? I go, how do you know this? Because, like, I didn't know any of this. I don't know. I just know that
he wants to know.
Yeah. All I have to do is just keep on winning and not lose my second match or after you rebuy.
Right.
So I rebuy. I win my 9th round. I'm in my 10th round. And then it, like, kind of hit me that I'm just like, I'm looking around, there's Jason Shaw, there's
empty tables. It's eerie.
Yeah, no, correct. Yeah, there's empty tables, but you got, you have Shane Van Boening playing on one table, you have Shane
Roland Garcia,
you have Joshua Filler, you have FSR, you have Dave Katie, you have, just like, I'm just sitting here, I'm just like, and that's when it hit me, like, dude, I'm like, I actually did really well, and
you belong here, sir.
And it felt really good because during the tournament, you're just, you're playing around these guys, and, like, you're a little nervous because you're not used to playing around the champions. You're used to just being at your hometown. You're used to your people, your friends, your good players or whatnot. But going out, even if you're not playing against them, your nerves get to you. Like, just like because you're around, Jason Shaw's next to me or across the table, and Shane's there, Filler's there, FSR. The list just goes on. And we're in the top 10, and I'm looking around. I'm like, there's only Shane Van Boening, Shane Wolf, and myself in the top 10. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like this is really, really good. Like, this is probably one of my best finishes that I'm going to have this year.
I was glued to my chair, and Jason's she walks in too, and she's like looking around, and I'm like right behind you, but Jason's on the table like right next to me. So I get up and give her my chair, because I didn't. That was because of what had happened with Miss Aura previously. Jason wanted her right there, so I let her have my chair, but I steadily watched. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick DeLeon put on a clinic. He doesn't think he did, but he did very well while he was at Derby City. What was that final like?
Yeah, I absolutely had a blast. And I took it all in. Like, I was happy. I was like, man, this is really good. And then, like, of course, like the day after, whatever, Matchroom came out with their list, and I was tied for 10th or whatever. And I'm just like, man, I could really do this. And then it was just like I didn't think at all this year that I'd get any invites, like, to the World 10 Ball, Predator World 10 Ball, the World 9 Ball Matchroom events. And, like, just like a year ago, I was waking up Dory at 4 or 5 a.m. to watch these matches. And I'm just like, man, watching these guys play, we're watching everything. Same thing with Mosconi Cup, same thing. And I'm just like, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And a lot of people out there just think that, we're just loaded, right? Because, like, no, I'm being serious. And it's people just don't understand that it has nothing to do with that. It's that I have some amazing sponsors, and I'm grateful for every one of them, whether they're small or big, for everything they do for me to get me around the whole entire outside of the country, inside the US. Like, I'm just so grateful. And plus a couple of my state courses as well that help me get to events as well when I come short. I appreciate all of them, and they all know that, and I couldn't do it without them. But if it wasn't for my wife, there would be no way I could be doing what I'm doing right now.
Well, after the Derby, Nick got an invite. Nick, where did you go after Derby City?
Okay, so this is really funny.
Let's do it, Nick. Give us a rundown on your year on tour.
Okay, so I do Derby. I take 10th. And I'm like, just, okay, what's my next events? What's my next events? Because I didn't think any invites were going to come this year at all. We get into February, and I get an email from BCA that I have a spot in the World 10 Ball. And I've always been on the sidelines in the World 10 Ball. Never, ever even thought that I'd ever be getting an invite to play in the World 10 Ball, a Predator event. And right there, it just hit me. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, I got my first ever invite. And it's like surreal. Like, it's mind blowing, and it's exciting, and you're just full of emotions. Cause you just like, when that time hits you, and you're like, dude, like, this is crazy. So I'm like, okay. So I'm getting ready for the Alpha and the World 10 Ball. And I'm just like, man, what's happening? Like, I go, okay, let's just get ready for this. And then a couple weeks later, I get a email from Matchroom, and I'm like, oh, sweet. I'm like, I'll open it up, and it's like, hey, please purchase tickets for the World 9 Ball. And I'm like, because you have to get on the list to get all the information. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So like a couple days go by, and right before I'm going to bed, like my head hits the pillow. I'm really tired. I'm like, I'll just check my emails before clear them out, for the next day. And I have this Matchroom email, and I open it up, and like, hey, we want to invite you to the World 9 Ball. And I'm like, and right there, I was just like, I couldn't believe it. Like, unfortunately, my wife was at work, and like I didn't have anybody else to call. Like, I was just like, man, who do I tell? I'm like, I was super excited. I did not just get one invite, but I got two, and the two different entities, like Predator and the Matchroom.
Right.
It was unbelievable. And
you did send me a message.
Yeah. And I sent everybody a message. My wife, I was like, man, can you?
I think I was on a chain message.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was just, it was probably like 11 at night, probably like 2 a.m. your time or whatever. But
I was like, what is that? I look, and it says, I got an invite. I was like, okay, cool. But that was awesome.
I just don't know. Like, I was just like, oh my God. Like, it was just, and then I go to the World 10 Ball.
How did you place at that event, Nick? Where did you place?
So the World 10 Ball, Predator World 10 Ball in Vegas. I think I took one out of the money. I think I lost to Oscar Dominguez. He put me out. And then I got ready, and I started getting ready and going to the World 9 Ball in Europe. And I've never been. I'm going solo.
Could you explain to the fans, while we have the tour in mind, how are the points calculated? Could you tell them how they're actually calculated? Because I think they're not understanding how this works with Matchroom.
Okay, so Matchroom rankings are different than the Predator, the BCA, the WPA. All those, we have so many rankings that come into factor. And I think that if we can ever get them down to one or two, or even one, would be fantastic. But with Matchroom rankings, they switched it to your cash earned. So instead of doing like a point system, like you got 10 points for signing up for the tournament, and then you get like 60 points for first, 50 for second, 40 for, third or whatever, and so on.
Right. So that makes sense how nobody was going to beat Shane out after winning that giant event.
Correct. So then we're at the World 9 Ball, and like we found out that, like you're based on like your cash. So like, for instance, I got 1750 at Derby, so I was sitting good to start. And then I was like, okay, how does it all work? And then that's when it was like the point rankings are whatever earn you cash is what you're ranked. So if you took, for instance, Shane Van Boeing, he finally won the world championship.
That was
Congratulations
what,
to him again. It
60,000,
was
65?
fantastic. Yeah. So it was 60,000 for first. So he's automatically was on the first
Yeah.
top of the line. So like there was no other US player that's gonna catch him.
He's floating easy right now.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, he's guaranteed a spot no matter what.
Right. But it's nice to have that,
yeah,
that
yeah.
title.
So he's sitting strong, and it's based on your points over the year. So I try to play every event that I could possibly play in to earn my spot. And then going into the US Open, I believe I was sitting sixth in points. And then after the US Open, I'm ended up sitting seventh in points for the US players. Tyler did really well out there, and it took ended up beating Federer and took over my sixth spot when he was in seventh. And then it just starts all over again. So it's all based on your points. But what's really cool is that they're carrying over your points from last year to next year. So you get a 2-year running of your points. So instead of starting completely over for 2023, I'm staying with whatever 6,000 or 7,000 I have in points going into next year.
Because you had played the previous year.
Correct. Yeah, correct. And if another U.S. player was joining to go play the events, they would start off, of course, with $0, and then if they made $100 or $500, $600, they would have that points add up. And they have a list of rankings on their website of how every event that you played in and how much cash you earned and everything.
Right. Welcome, B. Matthew. Thank you for joining us tonight.
So that's how the Matchroom rankings are. It's just
cool.
From the Predator.
Well, that clears some things up, because a lot of people were thinking that they're just randomly picked, or it's by what
two wild cards. Mosconi Cup is a little different, right? So you get the top three in points before the International Open. We'll just say the rules before the International Open. The top 3 in points are guaranteed a spot, and then whoever the coach is, Jeremy Jones, whatnot, whoever it is,
he picks the wild card.
He picks
at the end.
Any 2 wild card players, and it can be any 2 players in the entire U.S. It could be anybody. Somebody that doesn't play a Matchroom event, somebody that has played every Matchroom event, whatever the case is, he gets the bottom line of the picks.
So basically, the pick went. It was Shane, Oscar, Scott. It was Shane, Scott, Oscar.
I don't know.
Then
Shane, Oscar, Sky.
Okay. I couldn't remember if Sky had more points than Oscar or not.
Tyler Steyer got the 4th spot, and then Earl got the 5th spot.
Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up. A lot of people were confused about how they were actually chosen. I'm assuming the Europeans have the same rules that the Americans do when it comes to the points and how they're picked as well.
Yep.
I also heard that there's a possibility that Mr. Jones will be stepping down as captain, or is that something that they pick every year? Is it something that Matchroom does every year, or does he stay in that spot?
I have no idea. I don't know, because the Europe coach Alex stepped down. Mm-hmm. He said he was like 3 years contract or whatever, and 3 years winning, that he was done or whatever. I don't know if he's coming back or not.
Okay. It should be interesting next year.
Because we don't know. When
do you guys get your emails for your ranking events for Matchroom? Do they come before January, before Derby City?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So we do have a list. You got a list to me earlier today, and there are more United States Matchroom point events added. Is that correct?
Yes. There's a lot more. Let me see if I
could you run down which ones were added for the year that were different than what you did last year?
Yeah, let me see if I can. Where is that? Here we go. Well, we got Turning Stone that's happening here in a week. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one. So that's good. And then Paul's, I'm sure that he has another one in like August or September.
Yeah, usually they have one early in the year and they have one mid-year around summertime.
Yes. And then 3 Omega 9-ball tour events are happening.
So they
as
added
well.
Omega events, which is
Yes.
fantastic. Omega puts on some fantastic events.
And then a Ray Hansen.
Okay. And which one is the Ray Hansen event? What does it say?
It just says it doesn't have a date or anything.
Does it say where it's at?
It does not
Nothing?
say. No.
Okay.
And
Well,
then
we look forward to it.
and
I
then
wonder if it's Buffaloes.
I don't know. There's a Jason Shaw is having a event at his place.
Yes, he had mentioned that on social media
Yes.
a few
So
weeks ago that
I'm
he
really
was
looking
planning.
forward. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that because I heard he has a really nice place and also to be out there to play.
Absolutely. Now
So,
that Jason is in what state is that? Is that
it's
it's not Pennsylvania?
Connecticut.
Is it Delaware?
Connecticut Open.
Where does he live? Is it Connecticut? Is
Yeah,
that where
something
he
like
is?
that. Yeah. But also, they added the Asian tour as well.
Right.
So I mean,
And the Filipino, there's a Filipino tour as well.
yeah. The International Open, the U.S. Open. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It looks like there's like 9 or 10 events that are going to happen
awesome.
this year in the U.S.
That's awesome because
And
you didn't have that many as last year. You had to travel a lot.
Also Matchroom teamed up with Asia, right? And they're doing like a Vietnam Open, a Filipino Open, Taiwan, they have an APF Asian Open. So there's a lot of events this year that are happening with Matchroom, and it's fantastic.
Awesome. I look forward to it. You're going to try to get to as many as possible this year. I'm assuming you're planning on going for another seat this coming up Mosconi.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. Going for another year of some fantastic pool. See if I can overdo what I did this year and go into next year.
Well, carrying those points will help as well.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. That's why I think that it's really good.
Absolutely. Question though. Last year when you were at Derby City, you only played in the 9-ball event. Are you planning on giving it a go for all 4 events?
All 3?
Well, there's 4.
Well, I think the Bigfoot. The Bigfoot.
It's just something we threw in there, but it's an amazing event as well. It's a big table.
Yeah, but it's a Bigfoot.
And it's a big entry fee.
Yeah, I think it's a Bigfoot invitation.
Is it?
I think it is. I think it. I'm not sure because I've never played in it, but I'm definitely playing in the One Pocket, the Banks, and the 9-ball,
and the other 3 events. Well, I look forward to seeing you there. Absolutely. I'm going to try to make it the weekends since ladies and gentlemen, the Diva has another job. So I'll be working throughout the event, but I'll try to make it up on the weekend. So if any of our followers are at Derby City, please feel free to walk up to myself or Nick DeLeon. We'll be more than happy to chat with you. And Nick may have a couple of high chews in his case. You never know.
Yeah, I always have high shoes in my case.
But he also carries a lot of the Q-Tech brand as well. And if you guys are looking to purchase a Q-Tech Q, then Nick would be more than happy to show you what he has in his case. So if you guys are at Derby City, please stop by. We'll be more than happy to chat with you. So what else is going on over in the DeLeon land over there, Nick? Any news? New sponsors?
No. I mean, like, just working on everything, getting ready for Derby, and then follow the next event. Unfortunately, I couldn't make Turning Stone.
Right.
So,
well, they're overlapping. Some of them are definitely overlapping. Are you planning on playing in anything that is not Mosconi Cup rankings?
Yeah. If I get an invite to the World 10 Ball this year, I'll play in that. Okay. I'll play in the Alpha, since I'll already be out there because my wife will be playing in the amateur events. So,
Oscar also has his events. Are any of those Matchroom events?
no.
So you'll be heading to Hard Times though, for sure.
Yes, whenever, yes, always Hard Times. Any event that he has over there, I pretty much hit that event. I mean, so it just all depends on how the schedule looks and everything and how everything else comes together. But it looks like a very, very busy
Year.
year for us, for all of us. So I'm just glad that we have more US events as well
Absolutely.
as in bringing in the
Absolutely.
Asian culture as well for their tour as well. So it's going to be really, really, really good year for pool. But I'm just grateful for all my sponsors that do everything for me to get me out there. And
Well, we appreciate everything that you do out here for Inside Pool Magazine, Nick. You're a great ambassador, so we appreciate your honesty and your character, sir. You go above and beyond.
Hey,
So
I just like to have a good time, and I get to enjoy pool and the game that I've always loved to play, and have a chance to go out there and compete with the champions. So
absolutely cool. So let's dig a little bit about Mr. DeLeon. Let's I have a few questions. Actually, I've interviewed Nick in the past, but we never got into anything remotely personal. As most of you guys know, Nick is married and he has 3 beautiful children.
yes,
two girls and a boy, and he's also married to one amazing lady. Nick took some time off of his regular career to chase his dream, which his wife has been graciously helping support him to do that. It takes all kinds of support, and she's been a wonderful rock for Mr. DeLeon. But what we want to know, Nick, you used to race motorcycles, is that correct?
Like no, BMX.
Yes. How long did you do that?
Man, my family was doing it for years. I did it for probably like 4 or 5 years just to join in with my family, because I'd always go to the track, sit on the bench, talk to people, and hang out. And I used to like not be competitive. And finally, I joined, and we'd go. I mean, everywhere, California. I mean, just multiple places. I mean, Kentucky. Like, I mean, every place, every state had a big track. Vegas. Like, it was really, really big. And my brother was really good at it. And I just kind of wanted to kind of get in the mix a little bit. So I decided to join. And then I think I was like 8 or 9 years old when I joined. And then at 12, I was in a really bad accident on the track, and I got air vac. I was unconscious for like 3 or 4 days. I woke up and I was like 3 centimeters from being paralyzed. I was in the hospital for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then I got out, recovered, and my uncle introduced me to pool. And from there, it was just nonstop pool. Like, my mom would take me to the bars and let me play in tournaments because I needed somebody that was, a parent with me.
To get in, yeah.
Yeah, and I did that for the longest time, and then I just kept on pursuing it, and then it was just like I was working then, and then now I was in the banking industry for a while, and I would bring my pool cues and my clothes to work, and right when we closed the doors, I'd change and go straight to the pool hall. Like, there was no going home first. It was like I wanted to get as much time on the table as possible without dealing with the rush hour traffic.
Right.
So I dedicated enough where I woke up early and had my clothes, my cues in my car, and they let me bring them into the bank. And then, I got ready and left, and I was at a pool until 2, 3 in the morning. I was home at 4. I was back up at 8, at work at 9. And it was like a nonstop thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think you found your calling. You're very good at it.
Hey, I love it.
I'm glad you're still here. I mean, those motorcycle accidents are no joke.
Yeah.
So how many siblings do you have, Nick?
I have an older brother and a younger sister.
Okay. Are you the middle child, youngest child?
Yes, I'm the middle child.
Why do you say it like that?
Oh, because the middle child normally gets shafted a lot, right? If you're the only child, you get everything that you possibly want. if you're the second, you're like, okay, everything will happen the same thing, but you just don't take it that serious, right? Like, when you have two, and then when you have three, the middle one, it's like, okay, now you're taking care of the older one, now you're taking care of the younger one, the middle one kind of gets shafted.
You're the buffer.
Yeah.
You're the center of the Oreo, Nick. There's nothing wrong with being the center of the Oreo. At least that's what I keep telling my little brother. There's three of us as well, and I have a half brother, but yeah, he says the same thing. He said, "I hate being the middle child." I'm like, "Why? You're spoiled."
Yeah, right.
Awesome. So how long have you been playing pool at the level that you're playing? I mean, I know you've played off and on for years. I mean, you helped raise your kids when they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
So that took a lot of, time away from the table, I'm assuming. Whenever you had the opportunity, you would go. But while they were small, I'm sure you stayed home. So how old were you when you started playing at the level that you're playing at now? Or close to it?
Man, I'm 30. I'm 39. Probably when I was like 35, 36.
So you
Like
caught
I
it
was,
here.
I was getting into the high, the 690s, 80, and then I hit 700, and then I just like keep on going and going, just like and then this year I just kind of exploded. Like it was fantastic. I got to play some amazing players. I got to be around some amazing players. I got to learn more about the game than I ever knew about the game. With the help of Oscar Dominguez, Tyler Steyer, and a couple others, David Alcady, FSR, and when I was in Spain, hanging out with Mario as well. It was great. My buddy Peaches, like it just learning their different cultures and what they had to go through and what they deal with, and what they've been doing for work and training and everything. So it's just that I was a sponge this year is how I felt. And I just took everything in, and I asked stupid questions, but I guess there's no stupid questions when you're doing this your first year. But I'm grateful for the players and the friends that helped me out. And were open enough with me to open up when I was asking them questions and everything.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I can tell you this much, ladies and gentlemen, I met Nick a year ago in Birmingham, Alabama. He traveled to Birmingham to play in the Iron City. I think it was the 9-ball event, was it not?
Oh, a 9-ball in one pocket.
10-ball.
No, 10-ball in one pocket.
So Nick traveled to Birmingham, Alabama, which is where I run into the High Chew King.
Yeah. That's where it all started.
Right. And we've been friends ever since. But the growth you have gone through since I met you is incredible. You don't see it because you're in it. And people have been telling me that as well. Like, you're completely different than what you were when, you first started with Inside Pool. Little do people know I've been with Inside Pool for over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
But yes, in the spotlight a little more here recently. But your game has improved, just so much has improved with you, and it's given you a more rounded pool game. I've noticed you're balancing everything out, and I never saw any stress when you were playing Dennis in Birmingham, but when you were playing John, I saw zero emotions from you. Like zero. You were on the table the entire time. Do you have any advice to any of these newcomers that are going into some of these bigger events like Derby City? Do you have any advice about those nerves?
Yeah, just have fun. Like that's what Oscar his probably best advice to me when I was doing this. He's like, man, just have a good time, enjoy it, just take it all in, just enjoy it. Don't worry about who you're playing or whatnot, and just have a good time, almost like you're practicing. And I got to experience something that I never experienced before, and was that first World 9-ball event. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how it worked. you get 2 minutes before you play a champion to hit balls. And
Ouch.
and out here, we could show up to a tournament 45 minutes to an hour before, and we can hit balls up until they start calling our matches. And even after they call our matches, we can hit balls, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if we don't get called and we have a bye, we can sit there and we can go hit a balls for another hour or two to get warmed up. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, what do you mean we only get 2 minutes? And I'm like, I go, man, this is horrible. Like I'm thinking this is horrible because I'm not used to it, right?
Right.
But now I know. Now it opened my eyes why Europeans are so good at just
Jumping up their
out.
cool.
Yes, it's because they work on their mechanics nonstop. It's not really about finishing the drill. It's not really doing your expectations or passing your expectations, in my opinion. It's that they fall back on their mechanics and their pre-shot routine. So if they're playing bad, they just got to trust that, and they'll just fall right back into what they've been doing for the last couple of years or 10 years or whatever it is, right? So when they're doing the drills, I don't even think they're worried about like finishing the drill. It's just like getting down over the ball right,
making sure their mechanics are correct,
doing everything. So now when they go and play a matchroom event that I'm not used to, you get 2 minutes to hit balls. What do you mean I get 2 minutes to hit balls? And I'm pretty much hitting 2 minutes of balls while Co is sitting there in a chair or Terminator is sitting in a chair. And I'm just
filing their nails.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I only get 2 minutes. It was mind blowing, but it made me appreciate the game more when I practiced than I ever did.
Right.
Because now when I practice, if I do like the Federer drill or I do my drills or I practice my break or whatever it is that I take it 110% serious every time I approach my table because of the fact that that's what the Europeans are doing. Because when we go to matchroom events, we only get 2 minutes to hit balls before we have to play a champion. And you have to be ready within those 9 balls that you hit.
Right.
And it's just so mind-boggling that a lot of these U.S. players don't understand what it is until they go to a real matchroom event. Like, they'll go back and when they practice, they'll practice. Like I used to just practice, but I practice at a totally different level now than I've ever done in my life. Is because
this tour's opened your eyes for sure.
Yes. How matchroom handles everything, how the Europeans handle everything, how I got to talk to people and ask questions and everything, but it was really mind-blowing that, I took 64th, losing to Albin Ocean.
It's Albin.
It is Albin. It is Albin. I had my chances.
Do you feel like you're going to be better prepared this year than you were last year?
Yes. I feel that I am more dedicated and ready for this, especially with the break. Like when I went out to Germany and I was like playing a set with Tyler, he's like no problem. 1 ball inside, 1 ball inside, 1 ball inside, 1 ball inside, 1 ball inside. Whether he ran out or played safe, but it was just like 1 ball inside every time. And I'm like,
he always made something right. At least
yeah.
one.
And I'm like, man, I need to get that down. So like, instead of me just sitting there watching at the U.S. Open or the European Open or whatever, I'm like, even Jeremy Jones has said it like in the commentary. I had a couple of people reach out and they're like, yeah, Nick's always in the stands. Like if I'm not playing, like I'm in the stands watching, right?
You're supporting people and you're learning.
And not just watching, like I'm studying like what they do, because a lot of people don't understand that it's a big change to go from 2-year-old or 3-year-old cloth to brand new cloth.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Your shot selections
have to be
different. Yeah. Your shot selections have to be different on the table. Like normally, like some shots you would use, just top left, or normally, no, you need bottom right here. It's just, you have to be able to play the felt as well as playing the pockets as well as what they take in. So, and especially with the breaking on old cloth with the 9 ball, 9 ball on the spot with the AccuRack, you have to break different than you do with the brand new felt. So I had to adjust with that and figure it out. So I've put in a lot of time on my break, and I feel like I have it fully 100% down and me to get ready for this year for all the ranking events. I'm really excited. I am figuring everything out. I'm trying to find out with the U.S. events. Are the U.S. events going to be brand new cloth, or are they just going to be the worn-in cloth, right? So that's what you have to be able to justify. Where if you go to Turning Stone, it's brand new cloth, but us going to say one of the U.S. events, right? Is it going to be brand new cloth at that event? Is it
So when you
mandatory
go overseas, is it normally the times that you went, it was always brand new cloth?
Every event that they have overseas is brand new cloth.
So we're lacking on that standpoint.
Yeah, because it's up to the pool hall to refill 25 tables or 32 tables or whatever it is.
Some places wait until the big events and they have them refelted right before the big events.
Yeah.
Some places do. Now, because of COVID and everything that happened, a lot of these room owners were shut down most of the time. So getting, having to find somebody to come out and do it, and the money and all of that, I'm pretty sure plays a hand in some of what happened last year.
Yeah.
Especially in some of the events that I didn't hear such nice things from. And I won't say a word about where they were, but yeah, there were a few of those events that they were complaining about the tables and how they rolled and whatnot. But that's an interesting concept. I mean, if you're going overseas and you're playing in events and they're refelting them, it does make a difference when you come home.
Yeah, no, it does. It's just everything changes when you go to used felt and new felt, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, and how hard it is to adjust. I think it's easier, in my opinion, to play on the new felt, but the shot selections are a lot different than it is on the old felt than it is on the new. So it's a little different.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I would have never guessed that. Most of those venues that you went to, they weren't pool rooms, though. They were actual
venues. Yeah, they were big venues, like almost like big stadiums.
Right. Well, that makes sense for them to be refelted because they were probably brand new tables,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but Matro has it down. Like when they got into the top, like into the semifinals or further, like at the UK Open or European Open, like they were refelting the last couple tables, like like the night before to make sure everything was perfect, everything was slick. Like Emily does a fantastic job in Matchroom with the combined, of all of them together. Like the whole team does a fantastic job.
Well, hats off to Matchroom. We appreciate you taking care of our NikonKid, guys. We do.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I look forward to this year. It's just I will not be going to the World 9-Ball this year. It's just personal reasons, but I'll be missing the World 9-Ball this year, and I'll just have to make up for it on the other events that are coming up. So
understandable of you missing it. I don't blame you at this point. Maybe if it was anywhere else.
Yeah, it's in Poland. I know 90 or 100% of the U.S. players are going, but unfortunately, I won't be able to make it. So
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I know, but
you got a good cushion. You got that 7,000 points. You got a good cushion.
Yeah, so I'll be all right, but I just have to
bear down.
Focus and do my research on the events coming up this year because there's a lot of them. It could be cheaper to going, in the Asia, format instead, for cheaper wise than going to the other.
Well, hopefully you make it to the Filipino event because your wife would love to hang out with you there. Go back home and have some family time. That sounds like a good time for you guys for sure. Well, a little bit about me. I've been kind of
tell us a little about you.
I've been missing in action for an entire year. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have literally dove headfirst into this juniors program with the Junior Billiard Scholarship Foundation, and it's been one amazing year. These junior players, some of them play like grown men, like Lazario, Landon Hollingsworth. You have Sophia Mass. We have some of the best juniors coming up for an event that we're hosting over in Villa Rica Georgia at Monica Webb's place called Sticks. We're putting on the first juniors type Mosconi Cup event. It's going to be tweaked a little bit, not quite the same, but very close for these junior players. So basically, that's been my main goal this whole year, is getting this, getting down to the wire in March. So fingers crossed we can pull this off.
Yeah.
But I've had a good time, and I've met a lot of great junior players, and I've had a very blessed 2022, a very eye-opening 2022, and it's been one growth spurt in this industry for myself as well. I've learned quite a bit. I got to meet some amazing new people in my life. We interviewed Mike DeLauder back in the summer or early fall. A fantastic man. Also got the opportunity to sit down with John Mora and interview him slightly, not a full interview, just a partial interview, because we were right in the middle of Buffalo's, and they had an event going on there. Fantastic man. Very interesting facts about Mr. Moore that I'm pretty sure not a lot of people know, and fascinating, very well-rounded young man, and I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to speak with him as well.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
I'll have something coming out soon. During my travels, I also got the opportunity to put on actually be part of a tournament that we put on in South Haven, Mississippi, for the juniors, called Rumble at the Wreck. And these kids came out full force to battle. If they are so close to being just like you guys, they're just smaller. Very, very determined young men and women, and it's been a pleasure, and it's been an honor to be able to be around these future professional players. Been an honor. And you got the opportunity to run into our little Sophia Mask and Miss Savannah Easton.
Yes. They are fun, and just getting better and better every day. It's crazy.
Little Savannah she's tearing up the pool scene over there on that side of the country.
Yeah,
she is on fire.
Yes, she is.
She's on fire. I look forward to seeing her. She's going to hit. She's going to get out of that junior pro very soon. She's climbing that ladder very quickly. I see some great things coming in Savannah Easton's future, as well as all of those junior players. Landon Hollingsworth. Him and Cash Keaton.
Yep. Cash Keaton, a good one. Yeah.
Wow, Cash Keaton. These junior players thing, I am baffled. I never knew we had so many juniors out there on the scene needing more events.
Yeah.
They need more events. I mean, that's what the bottom line. In order for them to learn, they need more events. So hopefully this year has been very prosperous for the juniors. They've had several events that they've had the pleasure of attending. So it's actually picking up for them as well. So the pool scene's making a turn for sure. Yeah. Also, Feder Gorst was on Joe Rogan's podcast today, and I heard, and I haven't finished it. I started it, and then we had to do this, so I'm looking forward to finishing that as well. And he hit on some very tough topics.
Yes.
That's in our industry that a lot of people don't want to talk about because they feel like it's tainted.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't understand is the same issues are in every sport, not just pool.
Yep.
I mean, you have it in every sport. So we need to open our eyes, America. It's not just pool. Nick, what do you think about I know that Matchroom, also let me go ahead and put this out there. Darren Appleton, he, had some issues earlier last week, and he's on the mend. I'm hearing good things coming from Scott Frost has been keeping me updated
Yeah.
through social
No,
media.
we're all praying for him to come through.
So, right, Darren, we're
So
all
many
there.
people on social media is following and doing everything they possibly can to pray for a fast recovery and to get out of whatever he's going through. It's just a very, very bad, but good that he's responsive and he's doing better. So
So we'll keep you in our prayers,
yes,
Darren.
yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what do you think about the gambling aspect in billiards, Nick? Do you think it's a positive thing for these juniors to get into, or do you think it's a negative thing for them to get into
I just
early
think
in their career?
I mean, I think it's just part of the game, like you're going to have people that are just tournament players. You're going to have people that are just better at gambling, or you're going to have people that are like Federer that can do both. Like that he can play just as good as in tournament that he can in gambling. So I think it's just another avenue to make money if this is what you're going to pursue instead of just going to get a 9-to-5 job,
Mm-hmm.
It's just different. Overseas, they take care of their players. Like if
Right.
you do well, they take care of you for the next year. Like it's out here, you're on like
You're on your own.
yeah, you're on your own and don't get me wrong, the sponsors will come, the sponsors will take care of you, but there's only so much that the sponsors can do.
You've got to eat sometimes.
Yeah. So it's just whatever you choose to do or whatever you choose to do, it's just that you need to do it 100%. No look backs like me. Like I always told myself that I'm like, man, I wish I could have a chance to compete. I just wish I had a chance to just do what I love to do and see how I do. Whether I fail, I fail. But if I succeed, I succeed. But I can at least look back 20 years later and say, you know what, I had my chance, I had my shot, and I took it, and I did well. Or
Right.
instead of looking back and going, man, I should have done this, I should have done that, and instead, I'm doing it, and I'm seeing where it goes.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
you have to be fully committed. There will be sacrifices on all ends, to do stuff, missing family events, missing birthdays, missing holidays, because how the events run over the holidays, how they are around. Like,
not all American holidays are celebrated all over the world. So
no, correct. So it's just that you're going to run into those where your family is going to want you, there, but unfortunately, you have to go there because you're already committed with your sponsors and everything, because it's like a job,
Right.
Whether you do well or you don't, you have to at least do it. So you just have to just plan out everything ahead. Like if you're not going to play this event, then what other events are you going to make up, for, especially Matchroom, because Matchroom is the only road to Mosconi Cup. It doesn't matter if you go and win every Texas Open or every Memorial, like it like for points wise.
Right.
But on the other end, Earl didn't play in anything this year, and he was on the team. So
he's special. I told you.
I know. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying, like, the road to Mosconi Cup to get in with the points is only through Matchroom events.
Okay. What about Matchroom also has a strict no drug policy. How many times did you get drug tested before your matches or during?
I didn't. I think it's if you get in the top 16, they get random drug tests.
Mm-hmm.
I was 9th at Spain, and I didn't get random. But I don't know how they go about it. I don't know the rules about it. I just know that if you do test positive for something, that you get penalized and whatnot going forward for however long.
Okay. All right.
So
sounds fair.
I mean, I don't have anything to worry about, so it doesn't matter. They could drug test me every event. I don't care.
I mean, that sounds fair. I mean, that going into the events, because it's they give you information before the events. Is that correct?
I don't care if they have to drug test me, or if I have to go in there and I have to pee at every Matchroom event, then I have to go in there and pee at every Matchroom event. I go, the rules are the rules. Okay. So they
can give you a set of rules, correct?
When you get invited, or you pay for the UK Open or European Open, you get a document that has list of everything that you have to do and rules. And if you don't abide by them, then there's consequences, right? Just like anything.
Right.
So, I mean, you just have to go by it where, I mean, hey, I don't do anything. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. So they can drug test me every event, you know,
Okay.
I'm going
What
in
about
clean and I'm coming out clean. So,
right. The only thing you're going to find in his bloodstream is probably high chews.
high shoes for sure.
Now, if they ban high chews, it's going to be bad.
It's going to be very bad. Kids, watch out. I'm sorry. I don't have anything.
Nick peddling high chews.
Yeah, get in trouble smuggling in high chews.
Okay, Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
We're not getting you out, Nick.
Yeah.
Not for high chews.
Not
Don't
for high
embarrass
chews?
us.
Oh,
No.
God.
Oh my gosh. Also, what about the COVID restrictions? Do they give you information before you travel overseas with which country, what their restrictions are when it comes to COVID?
No, that's all for you to get information.
Seriously?
Like I mean, I could have went through it or whatever, but like even when we were talking about going to the Philippines or going to like Taiwan or what, or like we have to look up their restrictions. Like,
Oh, okay.
you
So it's
know,
up to you. Okay.
yeah. Like even me going to Spain, I didn't look it up because I was vaccinated. Right. So I get all the way out there and I'm going through before you get your luggage and they ask for the vaccination card. I show it to them. They're like, was this at the beginning of the month or the end of the month? And I'm like,
Does it matter?
Yeah. I go, does it matter? They're like, yeah, because if you got this done within this time frame, you'd have to get another vaccination.
The booster.
Whatever it is, because I don't care about it, but
Yeah.
but you would have to get it in order to come out here. And I'm like, oh my God. So now I double check.
You're freaking out because you don't
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I mean,
don't remember what day it was.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That would freak me out as well. That's stressful. Well, Nick, we've done our hour, sir, and it's been a pleasure talking to you. And
of course, I appreciate everybody jumping on.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen each other in months. We've both been so busy with everything.
It's been absolutely crazy.
Trying to get everything situated and finished. And, I've been doing a lot of these interviews for the kids or the junior players. So that's taking up quite a bit of my time. Like I said, I'm enjoying every second of it. These juniors are amazing, amazing kids. Amazing.
Oh, fantastic.
But I'm going to go ahead and let Nick get back to whatever it is he's got going on.
I have so much going on. Everybody's like, it's just like, I don't get messages or I don't get people calling me or anything.
Until you're doing this.
Until I'm doing this. Like every time, like if I'm trying to do both, I'm sorry guys, but it's just.
I turned my phone off. I knew it was going to go.
God, it's so tough because I have things I'm waiting for to come in, me to get response. So I'm trying to get everything ready for next year.
It's cool, dude. It's cool. But I appreciate you taking time out for us today and, working around your schedule and working around mine because mine is just intense right now. But I will definitely see you at Derby City for sure.
Yes, I will be there the 18th through the 29th.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking to purchase a Q-Tech Q, and you're not quite sure, Nick will have his stuff with him at Derby City.
Yes.
Do not hesitate to walk up to Nick and say, hi, my name is so-and-so. Can I check out what's in your bag? He's not going to care.
My whole bag is a tryout bag. If you want to try out anything, the jump cue, the synergy shaft, I mean, literally, whatever you want to do and you want to try out, you just have to come up and introduce yourself, and I'll let you try out the break cue, the jump cue, whatever. I mean, the best thing is that if you break it, they just send me another one. But no, seriously, like I like to be that guy. I like to be that person. I know a lot of people don't like their stuff being touched or whatever, but for me, and me being Q-Tech and being a part of an amazing family and company, that my bag is open for you guys to try out. Go try out my jump cue, my break cue. Just make sure you bring it back to me. But it's all there for you to try out. So I have the new optics as well in my case. So everything's there. the extensions. I have it all. So just don't hesitate to come up to me. I'm a friendly person. I like to talk to everybody. So
and he'll have me to tag along with him.
Yes.
On the weekend. I'll be there Friday afternoon, the first weekend, and then to finish out this second weekend.
Yeah.
So just feel free to come up and chat with us. We don't bite.
Yeah, no, I'm
a little skittish.
I mean, I'm not supposed to chat when I'm in a match, but sometimes I chat when I'm in a match too. So I like to just have a good time. But my bag's open. I'll be there, and then my next event after Derby, since I'm not going to the World Nine Ball, is the Texas Open.
Okay, and he'll be in Texas. So you guys, if you're anywhere in the Austin, Texas area, stop by Skinny Bob's during the Texas Open. Nick will be there, and he'll also have his bag of goodies with him, and possibly a high chew bag as well. Maybe you're gonna have to get grab bags for the juniors. They're going to attack you.
No, they're just gonna attack me. I'll have just multiple bags in my case.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you joining us tonight. My name is Tracy. They call me the Diva.
And Nicholas DeLeon, and they call me NikonKid. You guys have a wonderful night.
Thank you guys for stopping by. We'll see you guys next time. Let's see.